technical difficulties already. My mic is muted over here. Hi. I'm going to see if I can get that echo eliminated. The mic is supposed to be muted on there. I'm going to do a little futzing with that while I introduce myself here. I am Liz from Liza Jane Designs in Afton, Minnesota. This is my very first time being part of the Mystery Box Challenge, so I am so grateful to be here this morning. This group of ladies and artists is incredible. So I'm following Lisa, who did an amazing, fun, springy project, and her sense of humor just delights me. And I hope I can be half as entertaining and interesting as Lisa was for us. I'm going to add this back to the stream. So I am Liz from Liza Jane Designs. If you're following the entire event here, you know that we are 10 mixed media artists from all parts of the country, and we have been gifted mystery packages. My very first time here, so please extend me a little bit of extra grace. And I know that in this group, we're all about that. As Lisa talked, we are about extending grace and love and encouraging each other in our creativity. So I'm going to pop open this package. If you could see around me here, I have no place to move because I've surrounded myself with all the things that I might possibly need to create this project. I hope I've eliminated the echo. If it's still a problem for anyone, please let me know. I have muted the mic on my phone. So my package came from the awesome Lindy Tate from Taterbuggin out of Bartlett, Tennessee. And Lindy has not been feeling well, so we've all been kind of pulling and praying for her and holding her in the light. This is my mystery box from Lindy. So she has written a little note. I better get busy because I know I have an hour here to create something fun. Let me see. Hi, Liz. Can't wait to see what you create. Use whatever items strike your fancy. Love, Lindy from Taterbuggin. Awesome. Here's the guts of what Lindy has sent to me. I'm even going to kind of gently open this. I'm going to move over to this screen so we can see this together. What do we have? I'm going to save this little piece of washi tape if I can to try to use that because I'm that kind of a magpie. Oh my goodness. She has sent me beautiful textiles and a recipe card that talks about jams, peach jam. I love vintage textiles. Oh my goodness, I just adore this. Look at this little tiny dresses, girls in dresses, and old papers, fruit Hawaiian salad, gorgeous old faded papers and tissues. What am I going to do with this? And a key. Okay. As I've seen my fellow mixed media artists do, I'm going to take a few minutes and gather my wits about me. Breathe in, breathe out, say a little prayer to all of creation that I come up with a sweet idea for these very, very sweet pieces. There's a vintage hanky. So, of course, the one thing that I really did not prepare for was working with textiles. I'm surrounded with paints and art media. I don't have a single needle or thread. So we're going to punt. That is what I think we mixed media artists like to do best, is punt. I'm going to look around me for a surface to embellish. I have a journal here. I have all sorts of, I have a cigar box. I think I might work with my journal. So that's what I'm going to choose to use as my substrate today. This was given to me almost 10 years ago by my daughter. She said, for all your brilliant thoughts, happy Mother's Day, love, Stacy. You see that my brilliant thoughts haven't quite filled this up yet. There's plenty of room for more brilliant thoughts. I'm going to start out, while I continue to think about this, I'm going to paint the base of this journal. I'm going to change it from hot pink to white. I'm going to try to be as neat as I can to not get onto the paper itself. So let me move that into the camera, open up some white paint. I'm using Debbie's Design Diary clay-based paint. It should make a nice opaque surface for me to start covering here. So here we go on the gorgeous hot pink, which is about to become something altogether different journal. What else I'm going to do is move this pretty blue tissue paper, because that can also become a part of this or a future project. So I'm going to get that out of the way so that I do not get paint or messiness on it. And we're just going to paint up this book. Move my camera up. It's a bit too close. Yes. Is that better? I think that's a little bit better. Okay. I hope that's better. I'll still be watching for comments. So if there's something I can do to improve this presentation, please let me know. I do have some brilliant ideas hidden in there. So I'm just going to get this guy painted up with a nice base of white chalky paint so I can continue to embellish with the beautiful things that Lindy sent to me. I hope that people watching had an opportunity. Oh, Lindy, you did do me right. This is incredible. I hope that you guys had the opportunity to see our promotion video where we made the best use of Snapchat filters. Lindy's was one of my favorites. And you know you're going to love a person who is willing to put herself out there in the world using a filter with missing teeth and big bushy eyebrows. We got to not take ourselves overly seriously. And obviously, Lindy is blessed with a wonderful sense of humor. And hopefully today is feeling so much better than she was earlier this week. So let me see if I kind of got the edges there. I did. I'm going to quickly use this is kind of an industrial heat tool. Hopefully it'll dry up quickly. It's kind of noisy, but we're going to get that dried as best we can, as quickly as possible. I do love to alter books to use as journals. I have not really done much art journaling recently, but that used to be a favorite thing of mine to do. I'm hoping to get into that some more this year and maybe even have an art journaling group. I love working with books and doing kind of rudimentary bookbinding, nothing too intense, but just some fun things for practicing various mixed media techniques. I love a nice art journal. So this book, I'm gonna quick do a second coat because the beautiful papers and textiles that Lindy provided have some transparency, I think. So we're gonna get this nice and primed up to receive the goodness that Lindy provided. Continuing on here. Oh, it's echoey. Let's see why that would be. This mic is muted. I'm gonna pause for a second to see if I can make that better. I had been connected to my earbuds, but I might have become disconnected from them, and that could be causing the problem. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me get this painted so it can be drying while I work on that technical difficulty. How about that? There, that's pretty good. I'm going to see if I can reconnect my phone without losing contact here. I'm going to try to, you can still see me over here, guys. No, it says it's connected to my iPods. I'm very sorry. I do not understand why that's happening. But we're back here. No, I don't want to talk because I don't want there to be that annoying echo, but I can't really tell you much if I don't talk. So I apologize for that. I absolutely have no clue because my mic is muted on there and it is connected by Bluetooth. So I'm going to try not to worry about it because that will just make my presentation worse. There's my book all ready to start receiving some of this goodness. I'm going to dry this up again. And set aside my paintbrush. One of the many things I have next to me here are buckets of water. I have acrylic paint pens and tacky glue and hot glue. So we're going to just get this book dried up, not blow away. There we go. So I'm going to use some of these beautiful papers and just, whoops, let's get that binding. I'll let that dry on its own while we work in some other areas here. Yeah, I'm going to kind of patchwork some of these papers onto the front before I tear them up. I'm going to kind of dry fit and see what, look at this beautiful aged paper. We have a grapefruit and watercress Hawaiian fruit salad. That one I don't want to ruin. I'm going to keep that one intact because I might want to make that sometime. Let's see. It has pineapple and bananas. Ooh, it has horseradish and coconut. That sounds fabulously interesting. I'm going to put that right in the front. And just arrange these papers. I'm going to take this guy and tear him in some smaller pieces. It took me lots of years to learn and understand that if I tear one way, I don't get white. So I don't know if that's a handy tip. Paper printed side up, tear, I get white edges. If I like that, that's a good thing to know. If I flip it over and tear, well, not as white edges. Play around with that if it's something that interests you. I always like to see all the variations of ways to get stuff to happen. So now that I've got some scraps here, I'm going to use what's called liquid patina. It's just a decoupage medium, or can be used for all sorts of purposes, to attach mixed media items, but also to seal paint, to make glazes. But right now we're going to use it as a decoupage medium. See if I can get an appropriately sized brush here and start attaching these gorgeous papers to my journal. I'm gonna spread them around. Bunch of grapes salad, stuffed grapefruit. I don't know that I'll eat that, so I'm gonna put that on a lower layer, and I can cover that one up because a stuffed grapefruit salad just is not. Ooh, that has horseradish in it too. Interesting. I am a horseradish fan, but I don't know that I would like it with grapefruit. Okay, we're going to tear some of I want to leave this holy paper right along this edge. So I'm going to lay that down and use this. I might be able to put something fun in there later, but that guy's going down whole. Just putting those on the front of my journal. The Hawaiian fruit salad's going to go on top. I want to cover this whole front with these beautiful aged papers. I think some are authentically aged and some are newer, just made to look old, but they all are gorgeous. So here we go. Continuing to add these. Glad I had this book handy. I think this is going to be an awesome little project. Oh, horseradish and grapefruit. It does sound kind of icky, doesn't it? So we're going to get that covered up. I'm not tempted to make that one. Horseradish with pineapple and oranges doesn't sound terrible to me, though, but I also like sauerkraut on my pizza. Anybody watching ever try sauerkraut on pizza? Again, it's a thing that I never thought I would like, but there's a restaurant or a pizza place based out of St. Paul, Minnesota here, called Red Savoy Pizza. And that was kind of their specialty, was to add horseradish, and just kind of as a condiment. It was on their special. If you got a full Red Savoy Pizza special, it included horseradish. I'm going to put this flower in an important spot right there. I think that's a beautiful place to put that. And I'm using some of these little pieces to add darker color here and there and accent the small ones. I'll probably tint some of that up. This is where my Hawaiian fruit salad with coconut horseradish and sour cream is going to go. It might sound terrible, but the sauerkraut and pizza, it just adds a little bit of a zing. I'm not a huge sauerkraut fan, but it just adds that kind of savory, salty deliciousness. Just tearing as I go, putting this guy down here. I think it's looking pretty good so far. So here's what we have. This picture. I'm going to add in a little bit of texture over here. What do I have to do that with? I have some texture paste, I think, if I can find it. Gonna look behind me here. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change. Sorry about that. I put my phone in privacy mode, but apparently it didn't work. So back to that. I am so sorry to have these technical difficulties today. We're going to take that out. I'm back over here. There. I got back in. If anyone is watching, thank you. That is a great tune. That's my ringtone. I don't understand why when I have do not disturb on that people are able to disturb us in that way. Hopefully they won't be doing that much longer. We'll find out how insistent my callers are today. All right, I was looking for texture paste, and I'm how many minutes into this? I think we've got plenty of time to do the things I'd like to do. Here's some structure paste behind me. All right. Squeezing around my chair. I got a jar of structure paste. I'm going to use some in here, and we're going to press some of this gorgeous vintage hanky. I'm going to use it as a stencil. So here's my texture paste. Brand new jar. I'm just going to use my fingers because those are always handy. And I'll wash this out of here later so I can use this for other purposes. But right now, I'm using this textile as a stencil to provide, I don't know, some lovely texture on the front of this journal. We're pressing through the different thread designs. So you can use anything as a stencil, right? You can use anything in mixed media. And as Lisa was saying earlier, Jill looks at things. Jill Stalter, who started us out today, with an eye to how can I use this in different ways? And also as an upcycler myself, that's something that you can't look at anything and just see it as what it is. You see it as what it is and what it could be and what you could turn it into. So I'm going to take this part of the hanky and just This way I get to use the hanky over and over again. I'll wash it out, get all this texture paste out, and it'll be my friend for many, many months. So there's let's do another one of those over here. An unusual use, I think, for a vintage hanky. It's gonna get washed, it's gonna be saved, and I'm just gonna put some of this paste around my raw edges of the papers, hide some of the text that's there, but not all of it. A little bit of obscurity and mystery is, I think, always fun in a mixed media or other project. Keep the mystery alive. So there we are. I'm going to hit it with the heat gun again. Whoops, wrong lid. And in case you do not realize, I am pretty nervous being with this fabulous group of ladies today. It is true that they are kind and gracious, and I know that, but they're still awesome and amazing, so I do not want to disappoint. Oh, you know what I did, guys? I covered up my Hawaiian fruit salad. I'm going to have to clear that off a little so I can make that. Maybe I'll take a picture of it with my phone before I cover it over anymore. All right, so we have texture paste that's fairly dry. Here's how my book is looking at the moment. It's really hard for me to tell where. There we go. Something I know I love to do with fabric is tear it into ribbon. So I'm going to try to clean off my fingers a little bit in this bucket of water. And grab my scissors that are within reach. I'm going to make some little snips on the end of this, and we're going to tear this. I love the raw edges. I love making my own ribbon this way. So just tearing that, getting all those, just pulling that a bit to get strings that are showing, saving the strings themselves to be part of this, and tear again. Here's my other cut. Just tear that. And maybe one more. So I'm going to use this and make it into some kind of fun embellishment. Because I'm working with neutral tones, I don't think I'm going to colorize it at all, at least not right now. But I might use it to, let me see if I can get this better in the camera. Crazy. Okay, well, here we go. Working on mixed media from Jane. Oh, from a mystery box. That's great. Debbie Knutson is. All right, so why is it so hard for me to find where to show this to you? I'm going to make this picture bigger so I can show you what I'm doing here. I have these strings that I've torn off, or these ribbons that I've torn off the gorgeous fabric that Lindy provided. And I'm just trying to form it into a bit of a, I don't know, a floral look. I'm going to use it here somewhere on the front of the book, I think. Or maybe I will come back over here. I kind of like the idea of just wrapping it too. Yeah, I'm going to tie a couple together, make a longer strand. So we're going to make a longer strand of ribbon by tying these together. Maybe if I turn off some of my brand information here, we'll get rid of, I can't get rid of that. Oh, goodness, you guys. Here we go. Now we can see. I'm just tying the ribbon together. I'll have to mark an X on my sheet next time to know where to be putting my hands so you can see best. I'm going to take this and just wrap it. And I even like where that knot is appearing. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to tack it down in here with that piece of washi tape for now that I saved from the packaging. Later on, I will probably hot glue that down. But for now, I'm just going to tack that down. And we have this beautiful, I think, beautiful addition to the front of the journal. Lindy provided this sweet key. I'm going to attach that to the ribbon. Let's see if I push both of them through and tie a knot. Will that look cuter? I'm going to try it that way. So I'm going to push both of these through and try to tie a knot on the top. Yes, there we go. Padoom. And there is a sweet little key attached to my journal. I'm going to make these shorter so you can see the key better. Ooh, I think that's pretty sweet if I get it in the right place. Why are you so difficult for me to read, camera? There it is. X marks the spot. I think maybe a little bit of colorizing on here could be a fun thing to do. So I'm going to use my liquid patina here and just a tidge of a pale color. I do have pink showing through. All the things. I have some liquid watercolor over here. Nope, here's some red paint. Let's take some red paint. A little bit of red paint and just put that on my craft sheet here with some white paint. Not the white paint. Here's some white paint. Here's some white paint here. Turn off that banner maybe too. 35 minutes in. We have a ways to go here. I think I have provided too many materials to myself. Lesson to self. Don't put so much stuff out next time. Take some chances that you'll have what you need if you don't put the whole shop in front of you. I'm just going to mix that together and get a pink, and I'm going to mix it with my ever-present art tool fingers and kind of press that onto the raised up texture areas and add some light pink to this. I do like that, but it's a bit dark. I just wanted it to be a transparent kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is wipe off my fingers, grab an actual paintbrush, and extend that out in a more transparent way with the liquid patina, which, like I said earlier, makes this paint into more of a transparent glaze. So bringing that in, softening the edge of the, pink is one of my faves. It's such a girl color, I guess, but I like to think of it as, representing the strength of us girls too. At one time in my life, I think I needed to be more manly to be perceived as strong, be kind of there was a time I had to wear, dorky blue suits to work. And it seemed like as a woman, I was encouraged to act somewhat like a man, to be taken seriously. And I think we've progressed a long way in that regard now, that we are women and we can proudly be women and feminine and as strong can be, without thinking we have to imitate anyone. We can just be who we are, right? So I am actually loving the softness of this pink. I'm adding some to the ribbon that we created out of Lindy's fabric piece that she sent. Let's see, here we are over here. I kind of dig it. I hope that you guys are liking it as well. I'm going to continue on and use the liquid patina to seal the entire front of this, and then we can work on that binding a little bit, the binding of the book. So here's a bigger brush that's clean, and just seal that whole surface. This will dry clear. It's going on a little bit cloudy, but it is called Crystal Clear Chandelier, and it will dry in a crystal clear way. That will help keep the ribbon in place. So I'm going to get some more under there. There. It's vintagey, and I think it's lovely. It's my cup of tea. It's my style of used looking, well loved and used. So I'm going to go back to these papers, and I'm going to tear them to fit along the binding. I had no idea when I got up this morning that I would be creating a beautiful little vintagey journal cover. So one of the gifts of participating in this mixed media challenge is, not having a clue what is your day is going to turn into, but knowing that the lovely women participating in this group are going to provide. They're not trying to stump. They're not trying to stump us. I think we all send along what we think we would like to receive. It's the golden rule in art action. We send a box that we would like to receive from someone and end up making fabulous projects because we're given fabulous materials. So I like that binding as well. One of my customers has just walked in. Hello there, Jewel. She's a very patient woman and knows that I'll be with her as soon as I can here. I'm going to continue layering the torn paper along the edge of this binding to get it pretty much completely covered. And there we go. Let's see, I'm checking time to see if I have, I have lots more minutes. I have 8 more minutes to maybe work on the back of this journal, which I will keep more simple. But let me dry this up. Here we go. I've got these threads that I love. I love using threads. We're going to see if we can get those involved and play a part on the front of this journal cover too. Hello, Tiana. Michelle from Michelle Bell Creations. I do think also that it is fun to see everyone's process. We're all mixed media artists, but there's not a one of us who's just like another one. And I think that's true across the board of about all people, isn't it? But there's room. There's room at the table for all of us, which I think is fabulously wonderful. So this is dry enough that I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to keep it raised up a bit to work on the back. I don't want to put that down flat on my surface. I don't want to ruin the stuff I've got going on there, but I'm going to continue adding some of these papers that Lindy sent to the back. I might add some of my own papers. I do have some, I honestly don't even remember where I got this paper. I've had it for a really, really long time, and it looks like faded newspaper. Now, my package today was sent to Debbie. I'm thinking I might have included some of this paper in Debbie's box. So if she is watching me, she's getting a little bit of a head start of something included in hers. But I'm going to cover a lot of this using the liquid patina again on the back. So Jewel, who has joined me here in the studio, what I'm working on today is this fabulous, this is my very first time being a part of this. It is a mixed or a mystery box, mixed media challenge, where 10 mixed media artists from around the country. So I think I'm the only one so far from Minnesota, but there are a couple of ladies from Wisconsin and several from Tennessee and West Virginia and Arizona. So all sorts of parts of the country. women who do different, there's furniture upcyclers and more fine art people. And we're just doing this challenge together where we send each other a package. We open that package live. We have no clue what is in it. So if you're wondering, Jewel, why I'm surrounded by everything I possibly could use to create a project, it's because I had no idea what I was going to get in my package. So happily, one of the things that I had here was a journal that my daughter gave me 9 years ago to fill with my brilliant thoughts, it said. And I've had it 9 years and it's not full yet. My brilliant ideas come when they come. And I have to be honest, I have multiple journals that I write my ideas in. I don't know, because I'm kind of crazy that way. When the journal starts to look a little messy, I go, oh, I don't know, maybe I should start a new one. But I'm trying to get over that. It is not about being perfect. It's about, practicing, getting your ideas down, doing all the things. Excuse me. So back to some of Lindy's papers, because I love the vintagey brown colors. I'm going to place them around on here. Ooh, that looks like a bird a little bit. And we're just going to get the back of this covered up. We are at, we have about 12 more minutes to work on this guy. So let's see. Lindy, I think I'm using up most of what you sent me. The only thing I'm not using up is that vintage hanky, but we did use it as a stencil. So we used it in the process, but I'm going to be able to hang on to it and use it again. We're going to try to use it in a different way as a stencil here and add some color along the edge of that. So I'm going to go back to the red paint that I had. So here's the red paint. Whoops, that was too much on my surface. And the white paint. I have these little sponges. I cannot tell where the camera is. So I'm going to take some white paint and just a tiny bit of the red. Make that sweet, soft pink again. And we're going to push it through the hanky. Again, using the hanky as a stencil. I don't know if it's going to work, you guys. And hopefully this clay-based paint will wash out of this beautiful hanky. And you know what? If it doesn't, I'm going to continue painting it until it's a beautiful painted vintage hanky, because that's how I roll. I learned from a mixed media teacher I had online many years ago that if I was not happy with the results of a project, she would say, it's okay, you're not done yet. You're not done yet. And when I adopt that attitude, I can extend myself a lot more grace. I think that's kind of pretty. I don't know if you can see the detail. Let me get that up a bit. So it's picking up the detail of the thread work. I'm going to try to make a heart out of it. So let's see if we can do that. That's a challenge to myself, to turn that around and make like a heart shape kind of thing. I'm not afraid of making a fool of myself on camera, which is a blessing because it happens. Oh yeah, see, that kind of worked. So let's do that again, the other side. I may need to use my finger a little to, there we go. And come around and wrap that. And this way it does not look, definitely will not look like a manufactured heart. It will look like a human created painted heart on here because it'll be very imperfect. There, I like it. I do like it. And I like the fact that we mix the paint together. So we're getting light tones and dark tones, and yeah, I like it. So we have a heart. Can you see it? In the crazy, there we go. I think it's cute. Now, it's a little bit heavy right there for me. So what we do then, what I do then is take a scrapey tool and I'm gonna, whoops, that was too much. I think because it's wet, but I'm just gonna dot away some of that heaviness, I guess. And then I'll dot back in some lighter pinkness. Dotting away, realizing if I don't like it, I'm not done yet. I get to continue on until I like it. Sometimes I continue on to a point where legit, I hate it. That does happen. And then I just have to continue on again until I like it again. It reminds me of one of my favorite quotation things that I won't get right here, but it basically talks about how life is beautiful. And then it's hard. And then it's horrific. And then it's magnificent. So on a smaller scale, I know that happens with my art projects too. And it reminds me to roll with it. It doesn't always turn out the first time the way I think it should. And that is the God's honest truth, that art has helped me to realize until the end of our days on earth, we get to try again. We get to try again, and it is not the end of the story. It's not the end of the art story. It is not the end of the other story. So I'm not afraid as much to take chances in my life because I've learned to not be afraid to take chances in my art, and it transfers over. And I'm pretty sure my other mixed media friends on here understand what I'm talking about there, that when we give ourselves that grace, it's a really good thing. So there is the back of the book. I'm going to hit that with the dryer. I'm going to get the paint out of the way so I don't accidentally spill it on something. If I did that, I'd have to extend myself a lot of grace, and I would really prefer not to. So we're going to get this guy dry. I'm going to hope that I didn't mess up the front while I was keeping it upside down. There's that part. Barb started over on 3 projects. It will turn out, for sure. It will turn out. There's no fools on this page at all. Well, thanks for that comment. I have to agree. The fact that we're here trying is an awesome thing. So I am pretty pink in the back, pretty white and pink in the front. I'm going to add a little bit of pinkness, just a bit, to the side of this. Let me see. This is my glazing liquid patina material. We're going to need a little more white on there to make that less red. I'm going to put that on, add a little more, and then wipe some back. Wipe some back so we have that transparency again. Get some white mixed in with my red over here. Get some glaze mixed in with that. And here we go. I am liking it. I may bring in, this is dry enough. I'm going to put it up on these sponges and see if I can find a real life stencil of some sort. Would you open that box and hand me that black? Yeah, that one. So I found a stencil with the help of my friend Jewel, who's here, that talks about art is just another way of expressing our innermost thoughts, etc. And I'm going to take that wordy stencil with this sponge, and I'm going to see if I can get some of those words to come across on the front of this. Well, they're coming across. Not probably going to be able to know what they say. They're just going to provide a text element, but I'm liking it. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to add some to the corner over here. And we just have a couple more minutes before we wrap up here. So I'm going to use the corner of the stencil here. We're going to come across there. I'm going to come down and just sort of frame out the front of this cover. Yeah, I like it. And a little bit above the fruit salad recipe. I think it's kind of cute. We're getting down to the last minute. So in my last minute, I'm going to add some sticky words, because I happen to have that really handy next to me as well. And I'm just going to pick a phrase in this last minute. Let's see. Be happy. I dream of stars that glitter. She was herself again. I think I'm going to use that one. She was herself again. And I'm going to put that in a good place on the front of this journal, not blocking my Hawaiian fruit salad recipe, because I do want to try that. But I'm going to stick it on right there. There we go. She was herself again. And as herself, she's going to sign off right now. And if you're watching this on Jane's Create Art Every Day with Jane Bellante's page, refresh your screen, and Lisa Boone from Lisa Boone Designs will be coming on next to delight you with her mixed media project. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time, I hope. Bye.